Beautiful. We've had a couple of things happening. It's been a busy season the last while in the life of the church. We've had a lot of stuff going on. We've had our Business Forum has been running. We ran the second of the Business Forum 1, and we've also got Business Forum 2 coming up. So 31st of May, that's the end of this month, Saturday. It'll be 6 to 9 a.m., $100. Sign up closes this Friday so that we can prepare well for you and host you. And by now you would have heard the announcement many times. If you haven't, invite some folks who've been part of a business. If you lead a business, if you run a business, if you aspire to lead a business or run a business one day, if you feel you've got an entrepreneurial gift and you don't have a job, come along to that. If you lead in any position or any form, if you're part of a business, come along and be a part of that. It is Saturday the 31st of May from 6 to 9 a.m. Part of that, what has happened is Andrew and Dave went up to Joburg. We started a business ministry called The Hand from Zululand. They've gone to go and give a hand to, not really, that's an inside joke. We they were asked to go up and to help the guys in Joburg. And Dave, why don't you come and give some feedback on how that went? You see there? It is a hand. That is beautiful. I didn't even know that was up there. That worked beautiful.
Well, it's a little bit blind, but anyway, yeah, I was having to address someone a bit more seriously. It's difficult to put into words just quite how incredible the adventure is that you go on when you just say yes to the Lord in something small. So when, I'll just quickly rewind, when Charles and I and Margreta went up to the first Business Forum event that we were involved with up in Joburg last year, I would never have considered that Andrew and I would get to be part of what we got to be involved with the last couple of days. And this opportunity to just share what has been brewing in my heart for a very long time was really just me putting my loaves and fish in the Lord's hands and watching Him multiply it beyond what I could have anticipated. And the room, there were about 250 to 300 business leaders from around the kind of greater Bryanston area. And I just sort of shared what was going on in my heart, and the feedback that's come it's just like blown me away that just the little that I shared could have been multiplied so incredibly in the lives of people. So after that, Andrew and I got invited into a little conference room with 8 people, Andrew? And in that room were 2 of possibly the most influential people in South Africa when it comes to philanthropy. And we got to just be part of this conversation, and Andrew even said at some point, I have no idea why I'm here. But literally God had orchestrated this years in advance. The opportunity that we were speaking about had been presented to me by someone else in a different capacity as something that I could do in my business. And I did not have capacity for it. It was way, way bigger than me. And so then she approached someone else who was my mate Kyle, that I might have told you about, my friend Kyle. And he's since been on a journey, and there we are sitting in this room with the same people, with an opportunity that I turned down multiple years ago, getting to be involved with in a much bigger capacity. And it's just such an encouragement that if you say yes to God in something small, like He will take you on an adventure that you can't actually even consider and fathom. So the last thing that I'll say from this is that at the end of our time in this little conference room of people, the guys who were there prayed over Andrew and I. They just had this sense that they needed to commission us for what God was going to do in KZN through our community here in blessing not just our region but KZN. And again, we were like, okay, all right. That's amazing. And we just sort of put our hands out and said, Lord, you only you can do this. We cannot do this of our own strength. And the very last thing I want to share is there's a story in 2 Chronicles 16 where King Asa, King Jehoshaphat's father, He's been doing what's good and right in the eyes of the Lord. He's been listening to the Lord. He's been following God's leading. And then in the 36th year of his reign, he starts to make his own plans. And he starts to do some geopolitical negotiations. He takes stuff out of the temple of the Lord to try and buy people's support. And then this prophet comes to him and says, the eyes of the Lord search the earth, looking for those whose hearts are fully committed to him. But because you've taken matters into your own hands, for the rest of your life you'll be at war. And it was such a sober reminder that when God is doing something, don't try and make your own plans. Like, submit to the thing that he is doing, because he's watching over to strengthen your heart if you're doing the thing that he's called you to do. And so it was on that kind of note that the Lord commissioned Andrew and I just to be faithful with what he's given us to do. So just an encouragement. We were absolutely blown away. Yeah.
Beautiful, man. Well done to you actually being obedient and faithful in the face of it. Something that can be scary. But when the Lord does it, who are we to hold back? Men's hike. Rumi, do you want to come give some feedback on the men's hike, baby? I drop it on you last minute. I just did it to Dave. I did it to you as well. We got to... You and me, buddy. It's you and me. But people have heard me talk enough, Dreamster. He's still listening from the men's
It's from the sound.
By the way, I must just say, while Rumi's up here, I'm going to embarrass him. I said to Zach after the hike, I said, like, we were chatting, like, what is, because Zach came with us, like, what did you really enjoy? What was this? And he said a few things, and I was like, who was your favorite person? And I was expecting you, Dad, because, I carried the pots and pans, and I helped, I set up a lot of stuff, and I helped him, and I let him use the poles, and I looked after him, and I fed him, and I paid for it, and I drove him in there. And he said, Uncle Gareth was my favorite person. I was like, Uncle Gareth? Wow.
That's the wrong answer.
And he was like, because he's so funny, Dad. I just enjoy his sense of humor. I just loved Uncle Gareth. So well done, Ruby, on the hike. It was a beautiful thing, but no. Give us some feedback. Maybe just some highs and lows from the hike from you. And what did you learn?
Okay. So the hike was... Is there a profile picture?
You can see the top behind us.
Yeah, it was very steep. It was like a 45-degree angle. What can I say? Good. An amazing team. The youngsters did very well. Mark's not here. He was, him and Zach led the team most of the way, other than Andrew and Marcus. I spent a lot of time looking down, catching my breath, but also trying to find the next stable rock or place to put your feet. We were walking along grass a lot of the time, hard to see, and I was reminded a lot of this. Of friends in our lives that we rely on, solid friends, Christian friends that we know we can put pressure on and stand on in times of need or in trouble. So, I think the youngsters literally danced up and down that mountain, but those old guys standing at the back there. We had to step carefully, and I just think it was a nice picture for me of not selecting your friends well, but just treasuring good friends and solid friends in your life. That when you put pressure on them, they're not going to give way; they're going to support you. And both going up and down, I was reminded of a lot of that. But that's the highest point. It was an amazing achievement, but thanks to the team that got us there. Good navigation.
Shot, buddy. All right, so it was a lot of fun in the Berg. Martin put it together and led us well on some devotions on that as well. So it wasn't just walking, there was a beautiful program that Martin put together. So well done, Martin, and thank you for leading it and for putting it all together. There will be another one before the end of the year. There will be another men's event coming up. But what is that?
Second year.
Oh, Gareth he's looking fresh and ready to go. Stomach in, chest out. Beautiful.